Welcome back, everyone. We're watching top four play now, and the first match we're watching is GameGromp on Rakano Aggro. That looks like a card for card copy of what Watchwolf played to win the last Open versus spiffirific on a Combre Aggro deck. What do you think of these decks? I'm so bad.
Well, they're both aggressive decks, so I like the chances that this is going to be a quick match. Um, honestly, I'm not really sure which one is favored here. I would assume that it's Watchwolves just because that's the only one I'm really familiar with, but
I
what do
still
you
think
think?
I still think Rakano Aggro is great. I feel like it's favored for no other reason than I think it's a great deck. But
So, the interesting thing is that the Comrade deck actually has a lot of pseudo removal in their pump spells, which might match up pretty well against the Rakano deck.
so the thing that we see in this matchup, the Rakano decks are really good against the other more controlling decks because of their charge. That really doesn't matter here. So it is possible that in this matchup, the Combray deck is better.
I don't know that it's better, but I think that because it's lower to the ground, it's more likely to be the aggressor. And we see that here where Spiff is attacking and the Paladins trade, but only the Combre gets the war cry.
Yeah, but Spiff also went first, so he has that advantage, of course.
True.
Both of these hands seem kind of awkward right now. I guess this Warcry trigger is a big game for Spiff's Helena, so that certainly helps. Plus this pump again. But next turn, Game Gromp is going to have two Helenas for a potential double block. Or I guess he was going to offer the trade for that and the weapon, but Spiff wants to just keep pumping up that Helena.
I think in a matchup of aggro decks, size is really important, and Spiff is just trying to leverage the fact that his units are generally bigger, and at least in this case, bigger.
Yeah, the pumps are really coming in big here. Game Grump being stuck on three is kind of annoying, but it's not a huge deal right now. He's able to play most of his cards, so it's still okay.
True, he can play his cards, but only playing one card a turn versus playing two cards a turn is definitely a big difference. At least it's not a non-game, but I think that Game Grump would love to draw some more power here. We'll see if we inscribe here.
Yeah, I
And we
think you
do.
gotta.
Yeah.
I think he's just too far behind at this point, though. I think this is even with the three Helenas.
Both players have pretty strong boards, but yeah. Oh, we see a triple block here. Now,
I'm
if
so
Spiff had a finest hour, that would be a huge blowout, right?
I'm kind of surprised by that attack. I'm surprised the other Helena didn't come in as well. I mean, Game Gromp's at three health. He couldn't pull off a triple block like that with another attacker coming in, you know?
Yeah, that's why it kind of made it look like it was, like he did have a finest hour, because, right, otherwise, I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe you just send in the other Helena.
I think he just ace space there.
But
That being
having the
said,
6/7 blocking is, although, interesting, no blocks. Doesn't even put a Helena the 3/4 against the other 3/4 for nothing. Just wants as many lethal threats on the board as he can get, I guess.
Yeah, he's at 19. Every unit he has is lethal. Like the GameGromp really can't set up any kind of gang blocks or anything because every unit is lethal. It's just one turn
Yeah,
of jumping and.
this is just formalities at this point. There's no way GameGromp can come back from this game.
Hmm. It does feel to me, back to what you were saying earlier, going first is going to be huge just because it is such an aggressive matchup. It's an unfortunate kind of quirk of this format with challenging that we can't alternate who gets the play. So whoever wins the coin flip, I feel like, has a pretty big advantage.
Yeah, that is a little disappointing. Hopefully, the coin flip will go as evenly as possible.
Right, right.
Um, but yeah, going first definitely in these aggro matchups is, as you said, a huge advantage.
It really is also just because the first person to get down a Magna Ventris is just so far ahead.
Yeah, and as we see, Spiff has the go first again. So unfortunately, Game Gromp got a little unlucky there. If this were different, he would be going first here.
I think he's also going to six, but maybe not.
Nope, looks like he
Yeah, he
kept the
kept his
second
second
hand.
hand.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit hesitant to keep a hand that has no two drops. He has since drawn a two drop, but I guess he felt like he had a good some good plays with the torch and into three drop. He'd be okay.
Could also be that he just didn't want to go to six and his power was, okay enough to go forward.
True.
I know I personally almost never go to six unless my second hand is just unplayable.
What do you think of that play, going with the cannon instead of developing with the Helena?
I actually like it. Spiff doesn't have any direct removal, it's all pumps. So if you can go bigger than him, that puts you in a good spot, I think.
He's about to get blown out. Game Gromp is with this Desert Marshal, though.
Yeah, that's true. That does hurt. Although
I
it is still a two for two, sort of.
I think that's actually game ending. I think that's the game right there.
I'm not sure if he can get control of the skies um with the Phoenix. I think that there's a chance.
Yeah, but the 3-3 rail driver is it's a big game right now.
Agreed.
The other question is, assuming you play the Phoenix, do you even get to attack with it? I'm not sure you do. I think you might have
Uh,
to. I think you might
well,
have to kill the.
you can't block with the Phoenix. So if you playing the Phoenix, I think you have to attack because otherwise the weapon will just kill the Phoenix uh
Right.
next turn.
So, I guess we aren't playing the Phoenix. I guess we're just playing the Oni. Yeah. And he's just dead this turn, right? Between well,
Um
with that
well,
top deck, but with this
he
getting
didn't
close.
know that he was dead until just now. But yeah, that was quick,
That
and boy was I wrong. The Rakano deck not better than the Combrade deck, at least not today.
I think in this matchup, the Combray deck is probably better suited for this matchup. So I do think that if you're expecting a lot of Rakano, this Combray deck is really good. Again, I don't know how I feel about it into the harder control decks. I feel like it's really gonna struggle there.
Yep. And speaking of control decks, we are now moving into our other top four match, which is Lights Out Ace versus Apple Chips. And these two decks are a lot more controlling.
I feel like this dojo is just going to be fantastic in these matchups. It's hard for Lights Out Ace to interact with. It makes all his targeted removal cost a discard. It just seems really, really good here.
It is quite strong, although a lot of Lights Out Ace's removal is not targeted. So while it does hurt, Lights Out Ace will be drawing a lot of cards and not necessarily having to target. That being said, I do think Apple Chips might be favored, but
Just
it's close.
stuff like Defiance and the Condemnation is just so bad when you're discarding an additional card with it. That being said, Apple Chips does have some dead cards himself. We see the two Edicts in his hand that really don't do a whole lot, so. And with the aid in the void, Lights Out Ace is really just another
A single
sorcery.
Davia away from
Yeah.
stabilizing. Yep,
Yep.
agreed.
I guess the edicts do get the flying tokens. That's one nice little bonus.
So I was a little surprised to see both flickers get discarded by Lights Out Ace. I would have thought, given that, we have two cats in play, a flicker could save you two life. Oh, abduct for the Davia check. No Davia yet. We need to top deck it. But I do get why Apple Chips is aggressively doing that. Oh, harsh rule off the top.
Harshroll. Oh, he decides to just go with the weapon instead.
So Apple Chips did have the option there to play the Twisted Farmer, and kind of, I guess it doesn't really save anything. Yeah, just play it after combat to kill the weapon. That makes much more sense.
Doesn't quite kill the weapon though.
Oh, you're right. Oh, it's one shy because the weapon got to attack twice.
Getting the relic off the site and getting rid of all those garbage removal spells that don't matter is pretty nice.
That was a nice bit of filtering. And oh my
Oof.
gosh, here is Davia.
Yeah, that is probably it.
All of a sudden, Lights Out Ace has a very impressive board.
He even has extra armor to use his weapon.
Apple Chips just absolutely revenging everything. Multiple cats,
He is
multiple
drawing
card draws.
tons of cards. I'm not
And
sure
that
that
Zoltan Ambassador is doing a lot of work too. Yeah. Wow.
I'm not sure that there's much he could do to come back at this point though.
That's true. Even though he's drawing a lot of cards, there's not a ton he can effectually do with them. And at any point, Lights Out Ace can just harsh rule if he needs to. So that's something Apple Chips is gonna have to watch out for.
At
Do
least the
you
at least the
do you
Plunks have ages, so they'll survive one harsh roll. Um, that being said, I think that we're just attacking and killing.
mm, we just sent one out. Okay, so the site's dead. We've got control of the board, a million cards in our hand. What do we do? Do we draw more cards? Is that our play?
I think you start by getting the face ages. Yep.
Agree. So we already attacked twice with a weapon, so that doesn't do anything. Just discarded. Yeah, so those three desert marshals, I think, are really what seals the deal for Lights Out Ace. Because I can't imagine a string that Apple Chips can put together that the desert marshals can't deal with, in addition to the other things.
Agree. Um, maybe Apple Chips can come up with some kind of big twisted farmer plus relic pumping up the plant's turn to get some surprise damage out of nowhere.
Oh, that's a good play. Yeah, okay. I see that. That's gonna take you a couple turns though, and I think Lights Out Ace is gonna put a lot of pressure on you with those flyers if he can stabilize the board. But going wide, I do think is Applechip's best option. And here he just slams in with everything. Nope.
And he thought better of that.
Nope, we're back on the slam jam. And these desert marshals, which didn't look like he had blocks, are all of a sudden doing a ton of work.
Yeah, what is he getting through? 2 damage for.
Yeah, it looks like he's dealing 2 damage, losing the Plunk, the Rat King, and both Cedos. Oh no, Call the Hit is gonna save
Save
a
one.
cat.
I think at this point he's just looking to go as wide as possible. Just get whatever you can on the board. While I don't mind the jamming, I think I probably would have used the sketch first, made some relics to try and attack a little bit more.
I think his plan is to Twisted Farmer this turn and Sketch next turn when he'll play a sketch, activate it, and that'll be his attempt to win.
But
The problem is this obstructive flicker that Lights Out just drew
yeah, that
is gonna
is
put a big stop to that.
real bad for him. Real bad.
So here, likely to see a sketch twice? No, just once, I guess. Oh no, twice. And then activate.
It was
And
almost a
this
really
would
good plan.
and I mean, this is a fantastic plan. That was Apple Chips' best chance to win. The problem was if he had the third flicker. And that's the last flicker in Lights Out Ace's deck. He's only got 3, and he discarded 2 earlier. So I really like that play from Apple Chips. Well, Lights Out was prepared.
Oh, okay, sure. Can you hear me better now? So this game, I mean, this game's over, but it was closer, I think, than the life totals and the board right now would lead you to believe.
I think both players played extremely well. And I mean, it's not over.
Yeah, I
Apple Chips
mean,
is not. He's not gonna concede, but yeah, okay.
he's just
Now
gonna
it's
take
over.
lethal. Okay.
Okay, now it's over. Yeah, really tough game. Uh, well played by both players.
So that was only game one, right? All right. I definitely think Apple Chips has a lot of game in this matchup. There were a lot of situations that if things rolled just a little bit differently, he would have won. Um, he's got obstructed flickers, so if he had an obstructed flicker for the aid of the Huru, that would have been a big game. If he didn't run into an obstructed flicker, the last obstructed flicker in the deck on the last turn, that would have been a big game. I think it's a game of inches here. I don't think he's super far behind, and I think he's got a lot of play in this matchup. One nice thing about Apple Chips decks is a lot of his bad spells aren't as bad as I thought. Like, Call the Hit could always be played as a power. Edict can take out flyers. Suffocate's pretty bad, but that's really pretty much it. And between the Night Dojo giving you blueprints and Valise, hopefully he could filter through some of those bad cards.
Yeah, he does have a few ways of discarding those useless cards and just like kind of churning through. Um, but what impressed me the most was the Twisted Farmer. The Twisted Farmer is actually very scary for Lights Out Ace if he doesn't have a flicker. That really put a lot of damage onto the board in very short order. Um,
Oh, that was the
that
end.
was the end of the round? Okay.
Well, never mind then.
Okay. Well, Apple Chips did have a chance, but not today. Lights Out Ace took that match. Did he take that 2-1 or 2-0? 2-0. All right, and we'll be back soon for the finals.